Hey guys, welcome back. I know. In the last video a year ago, I said I was gonna try to get back into doing videos, but well, I didn't. Well, I'm gonna try this time. Doing something different in life, uh, so after work I can start doing some things. I'm gonna give you a real quick update because a lot of you that don't follow me on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, you probably have no idea what's been going on behind the scenes a year since the last video I've uploaded here on YouTube. So, um, stuff has still been happening. I haven't been recording it for YouTube. I've been doing updates and stuff, like I said, on my TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, stuff like that. But anyhow, I'm gonna spin you around here. I'm gonna give you an update. I think the last video I done was on the 84 K10 that I was building. Um, there has been a lot of things that's changed over a year, uh, but without further ado, let me spin you around here and I'll give you a really quick update. Uh, we'll kick in right here. As you can see, we got a few parts that has been sandblasted and powder coated on the workbench. That's because we're going to continue working on the truck, but this is how the truck is looking now. Like I said, a lot of you have not seen this if you're not following me, but yes, I have still been working on my truck. Uh, as you can tell, it's painted. I've got the new wheels and tires on it. We'll give you a quick update. Those are Pro Comp wheels. They're 16s by 10, and the tires are the BF Goodrich All Terrain, the KO2s. They're kind of a square body tire. A lot of people run those. Those are 35-inch tires. The lift is a 6-inch lift, but it actually ended up going up 9 inches when I put the lift on there. Don't know how that happened, but if you can tell from standing back here, the back has a rake to it. That back is about 3 inches higher. We will be doing something about that because I don't like that. I want it leveled. But anyhow, I'll take you up here. Just about everything is done to the truck. I've already done the Raptor liner in the bed of the truck, and everything. I've got the rear bumper and everything on. I'll take you on the inside. Yes, the windows are going to get retinted. I've already put the whole inside together, as you can tell. I've got to clean it up still and get me some floor mats. I've got the seats. I've got the custom box and speakers and amp and stuff in there. I've got the dash, brand new lens, vintage air, everything is hooked up. That does have a piece underneath of here. What am I thinking of? Stainless steel chrome there. I just got it taped up for right now, just keep it from getting scratched for right now. Nothing else has happened to the engine yet. But what we're going to get ready to start doing is, I've driven this thing a couple of times. And let me tell you, I love the looks that it gets, but I hate the steering on this. I've got about probably a quarter to a half turn each direction before the wheels want to start turning. There could be a lot of different things that causes that, but I know my gearbox is good and the steering shaft and the column is good. Everything is tight there. It's not the rag joint. I know a lot of these are caused for a rag joint, but here's the plans. We're going to do some crossover steering on this thing. To fix that, we're also going to use a Jeep steering shaft, get rid of the rag joint, so that way it's going to eliminate a lot of chances of some play getting in there. But the crossover steering is where it's really going to be at. And that's where these knuckles come in. These are Dana 44 knuckles. They look a little pitted. That's because they were out in the weather. They were rusted over, but I sandblasted them, powder coated them. They're good to go. I'm gonna put new ball joints and stuff in it. The Dana 44 knuckles are gonna replace the corporate 10 knuckles. They'll fit right on there. And what I've got to do is, on the passenger side, you can see this is your driver's side. Let me see if this will stand up here, which I didn't figure it would. Anyhow, this is your driver's side, okay? The 3 bolts will go in the top. That is for the control arm and stuff to go over to the passenger side. Well, on the corporate 10, it does not have a flat spot like this on the passenger side. So the Dana 44 knuckles do. So what we're going to do is we're going to drill the 3 holes, the same thing that is on the driver's side. That way we can kick it over, and the steering rod will come from the driver's side. We're going to change out the gearbox with a 2-wheel drive C10 gearbox, because the pitman arm can point straight back towards the driver. Then that allows you to bring your steering arm all the way over to the passenger side. Alright, and then your main control arm, which it's still on here, but we're going to beef this up. I know there ain't no light, but you can see that control arm running from there, right there. That'll get changed out, and we're going to put everything new. And I'm thinking I may end up going with some high steer also. It'll replace that, and it'll change the control arm right here. Or I know I'm calling this wrong, control arm, but anyhow, steering arm, we'll just call it that. Anyhow, it's going to change that from mounting underneath the bottom of it. It'll mount up high and it'll go over top of the spring. They call that a high steer. It gets it out of the way of anything getting, going to hit it, which I don't ever plan on taking this truck off road. So there's that. And then as far as the rear, we're going to address some issue back here. I don't like the look of a big old drum sticking off of that 14-bolt rear end. So we're going to change out the brake lines, and we are going to convert this over to a rear disc. We've already got the brackets. I ordered those, and I powder coated them to match the blue. The drive shaft is going to get painted blue. The front and diff cover, they'll be blue. I'm not going crazy with the blue, but I'm doing a few accent pieces. I think we're also going to paint the shocks. I think we're going to paint those blue. Just a few little pieces, kind of subtle, because we don't have anything else blue on the frame, but I'd like to tie in a blue down low just a little bit. So I think our first thing is we're going to work on the rear, start getting that tore down, and get it ready for the rear disc conversion. So let's get us a pan underneath here, because the grease in this, or the oil in this rear end, is brand new. I just put it in, so we're going to drain that, keep it, and then we'll start getting this thing on jack stands, get the wheels off of it, get the axles pulled out, take the drums off, and all the good stuff. So let's get this let's get the show started. Well, the good thing about having this truck lifted up this high is I've got plenty of room to work on this thing. Let's get this bolt out here. Tell you what I'll do, I'll leave this top one in here. I'll have something holding on. I'm just going to right down till this up, because I didn't want to start leaking until I'll probably just hear it. There we go. There's all in this time over there. see what gears we have in this thing. Looks like we got 410s in this baby. Good. That makes me happy. Now I didn't have to take this pan off to basically do this rear disc conversion, but I didn't want the oil to come out the axle tubes or anything like that. I just assume have it in one spot, let it all drain out. Makes less of a mess. All right, we'll let this drain out, and I guess we'll go ahead and get this thing jacked up, get it on jack stands. We'll get the wheels pulled off of here. Let's get this axle pulled out of here. Passenger side axle. Ready? Off. Yep. I'm going to have to get a hammer and tap on the back side of this drum and get it to slide off. So let me do that and we'll come right back. Alright guys, we got the drums off of there. I had totally forgotten that I'd already put all brand new brake hardware on here. I've got new pads, you can see it, springs, wheel cylinders. But if you don't like something, you just don't like it. So I'm still going to change all that out and put the disc conversion on here because I don't like the look of the drum. So I'm going to get this off of here. All I've got to do is take the brake line off of the back of the wheel cylinder and take out them 4 bolts right there, and that whole plate will come off of there. So let's get that done. Me having already changed all this stuff, it's actually okay. These leaders are done, I've already proofreading those, or change all this stuff. So some of these can be a total nightmare. Alright, pretty much got the brake fluid drained. Just barely dripping back now. So let's get this system off of here. Where's that? I like them. 3 out of 4 of those lock washers completely broke when I just took them off. So we put that back on. We'll put new lock washers. These are anyhow. Alright, this should come off. Just needs a little persuasion. And it just slides right off. That's the whole assembly. Put this out of the way. Get this all cleaned up. I'm not recording me doing the driver's side because it's basically the same exact thing as the passenger side here. I've just got more room to record and stuff like that over here. Alright guys, I didn't record putting them on because I mean, that's kind of self-explanatory. The only thing you need to know is when you do put these brackets on, you'll notice they have a bend to them. That bend needs to face out towards the wheel. I think that's the orientation I'm going to run with. The caliper will, I'm sorry, yeah, the caliper will set right up in here. If I have to, I'll clock it one more hole this way, kind of make the caliper set straight up down, but I kind of like the way this looks. Alright guys, we got some front rotors from a K10, like an 84, 86 model. I took them and had them turned, so they look a little rusted, so we're just going to throw some paint on them. They ain't got to be perfect, but I've taped off the surface so I don't get no paint on it. We're going to paint this side, flip them over, and paint the other side. Just kind of dress them up a little bit before we put them on there. So let's get this done, and I'll bring it back. Alright guys, got these painted up. Like I said, they ain't got to be nothing special. I got the hub, or I'm sorry, yeah, I got the hub sitting down. Got an old shirt underneath here, just keep anything from getting modeled up or anything. I've got the rotor, just went and had it turned, painted it up. Now we're fixing to put the studs back in these. And some people say you got to have a press, but you ain't got to. Get every one of these in here before you even get any of them knocked in. Now what I'm doing is, out of those knuckles that I'm using up front, I took out the old bolts and I'll be replacing these because the threads were already messed up, so I just welded a nut to it, took it out. Anyhow, I got them in some nickel nose vice grips. I'm using it for a punch. Just setting it on top of this stud right here. Taking a good hammer. Just hit on the stud, trying to cross them. You can tell when you can see down there, all the way to the tell it. No, I did take a flashlight. Check to make sure every one of them is seen down all the way. We have one of these right here. Now it is. Now we're just going to pull off all this tape on both sides. We're going to put the whole thing back onto the axle, or to the rear end, I'm sorry. Let me get this tape off of here and we'll bring it back. Alright guys, there you go. Basically, all it does is slides right back on there. All that rotor does is take place of the big old bulky hub there. Or drum, I'm sorry. So all I've got to do now is just put the hardware back on there, the bolts and nuts and stuff. We'll tighten it down. Alright guys, there you go. That's pretty well how you do the rear disc conversion. I've got the new calipers, new pads. I'm going to order some custom lines for the rear. That way we can get rid of the hard line that goes across the rear end. We're going with steel braided rubber line to go up to the connection block. It comes down there. But it'll bolt straight into the caliper, and then the rubber line will run up and over to the block. But other than that, guys, that's it. All these are is 1986 Chevy K10 front calipers and the matching pads, the JB6s, and it matches up nicely on the bracket, as you can see. The other side over there. I think I'm going to leave the angle right there. I like how that's sitting. I like how it looks. The bleeder valve is up at the top, so we're good there. I'm going to slap the rear diff cover back on for now, just so I can have it covered up, but we are going to get a different diff cover for this. And to address something that you all see, you can see there's a boogered up weld on that drive shaft I had shortened. That has bugged me since I've had that done. So, y'all know what this is going to end up getting, a custom made drive shaft. I don't like that. I've done this much work to this truck. Why settle for something like that? I mean, yeah. It's a sad thing is I paid to have that done. But anyhow, that's neither here nor there. I'm gonna get the wheels back on it, get it off the jack stands, and we're gonna start tearing the front end down to get it ready to swap the knuckles and do the crossover steering. Thank you guys for watching the rear disc conversion. That'll be it for this video. Next video is going to be that front axle. So, God bless you all. Have a good one.